a team, they are scary. A true international powerhouse.
Yeah, and Icebox, I figure, is where they were probably one of the more dominant teams in North America. I mean, we saw that FaZe game way back in the grand finals. tenz was popping off, so we'll see if he can do it here again. Early on, Sentinels, it's that Viper wall that goes up. You can kind of use this as a fake, but Dapper's going to instantly cancel it out and throw up his own stage wall and get a little bit of elevation, whereas in the meantime, Soniqs, they have a little bit of contest back towards the A side.
Well, they anticipated it, but that's nice and cheeky from Dapper, because not only can he get that elevation, but ult orb right in front of him. It's going to be big, at least for the long haul. But otherwise, the rest of Soniqs, because they're closed up by that wall, it's a little bit too tough of a choke point to even go through. They have no information from what's behind that wall. Yeah. For now, it's only Dapper, but they could be running into a crossfire. So for now, they're just taking things nice and slow. Yeah, so here's the tricky thing right now, at least for the side of Soniqs, is that wall going up and you already committed that Viper wall, it's going to be super tricky, at least to try and convert back to that A site, because you really only have the poison orb if Bob has even decided to buy it. So it's a little bit tricky here for Soniqs, as Sentinels are kind of reading it, and you can see tenz already starting to push forward down towards A for a flank. Very, very quick flank and getting all of that information. Now Sentinels fully on the rotation back, and you still have Dapper on this front line, down to 7 HP. Still somehow healing. It still somehow can damage, taking down Crunchy, but quickly, Sentinels, they have 2 players over in yellow box. It's Shazam and Sick combined for the last 3. Sentinels pick up the pistol. I think that pistol round kind of greatly shows the 2 different styles between Sentinels and Soniqs. I think both teams in that one were trying to read each other, right? Soniqs were anticipating a very aggressive style, at least coming from Sentinels, and that's why we saw Dizzy Life sitting in the back of the defenders or attacking spawn, ready for a push to come through. They get caught off by, I think, Shazam pushing down towards mid. So Soniqs were anticipating Sentinels get aggressive, but Sentinels were anticipating Soniqs to be super, super slow and defaulty. So they get aggressive, they get that ground, and that very early wall from Dapper really threw a wrench in the plans of Soniqs. We see a little bit of that again as tenz, he takes up Pipe's control. Gets that first contact, but not able to really find anything. He goes back into it again, but there you go. Crunchy, a celebrated player from Australia. Used to play Quake, a long stint in CSGO. Now coming over to NA, fully committing to Valorant. Dance, he's a fragging legend. I mean, that's almost anticipated, right, when a player comes over from Quake. It's the pure mechanics that can completely discombobulate your opponent. Yeah, I heard Crunchy as well. He has, I think, what is it, a cup of coffee every day is what the team told us, and a couple of the fans told me. So the dude is always going to be very fast, very cracked, so we'll see what he can do. Off of that first pick, it's a late lurk from Ian, the IGL here of Soniqs. That's going to get a progress up towards mid, straight through tube, and there's even a flank. But he only has a classic, Gus. Oh, man. It was sidearm v sidearm, too. Ian, super possible up that battle, but just couldn't win it. Not a lot of information either. Only able to catch up only one person, one pixel in a sense. And now it's just Dapper with the Ares sitting up on yellow, just grinding out damage, farming, and like you said, alone, but still able to heal. Sick is here. Same thing with Shazam off the flank. Wonderfully done by Sentinels again as they wrap. Clean here from Sentinel. Soniqs, they're able to find first picks. I think they're really trying to shut down tenz. I think that's the biggest issue, at least for the side of Soniqs, is that coming from Oceania, I remember we discussed with Ian, is that the skill level isn't as comparable to maybe North America. So this is going to be kind of a huge change in terms of playing in Oceania and then coming to North America, is that the skill gap, at least when you're playing against the #1 team in North America and probably one of the best players in the world in the form of tenz, there's going to be a huge learning curve, and Soniqs are starting to slowly adjust to it, as now they've got the rifles out, but Shazam is ready to battle with an op. So quick now, you see the Viper wall right on up towards B main. They quickly take it down. It was just for that first contact. See if they can catch up a little bit of space for Dizzy to get on top of box. Oh. Now you still have Ian on the wrap, almost able to catch one in mid too, but look at the space that Shazam has made. That's an instant frag from onto Ian. Not only that, but it cleared out the rest of A main, and now they already begin to rotate. Yeah, the wall up as well is going to make this really difficult of a plan. Soniqs need to break it down, otherwise they're going to be super exposed, wrapping the far left when you want to get that plant right in front of that double stack box. Having to go around that wall causes so much of a delay, but they've thrown a wall up themselves. Snake bites straight up towards Shazam over the bridge. He's not going to be able to have much of a fight here, and there's really no counter, as Soniqs will get the spike down for the first time in this game. Crunchy out and away, not taking up any HP. That's probably the most important part, even with the wall bangs. It was still just fine, so still backs up, but now it's full control for Sentinels. At least the site, they just want to get the spike down, but Bob getting 2. You still have Plix playing around yellow box, down to 5 HP. Zoms with a pick.
He's got the
Crunchy
spam.
has to get it through the box, trying to spam, can't find it. Shazam down to 50. Oh, and he gets the defuse. Barely, as Crunchy made the wrap all the way from B main to mid, and Sentinels, although they make it a little bit more dramatic, it was dominant from the rip as they took back B main.
He tried to go for such a long flank to try and catch the players off guard, but Sentinels, that high tempo, Soniqs have, I think we heard it from Ian himself as well. Again, I'm going to keep referring to this little conversation we had, is that Soniqs have always been a very dominant team in Oceania, and that's because of how good they are with post plants and retakes. But the main thing is in Oceania is that teams are a lot more cautious. They're a lot more patient on the retake. But again, that style change, North American counters, or apologies, Valorant, Sentinels being so aggressive early on, Gus, finding so many early openings, Soniqs completely caught off guard.
As we go back with Soniqs, this time they might be committing the bodies over towards A, and now Sentinels, they already had Shazam early, but it's a 1-2 combo coming in from Dizzy and Bob, taking down Shazam and Zoms. So now man advantage for Soniqs, that's already taken away as tenz lines them up, catches 2, and still a whole lot more damage to another. Sentinels at least have 2 players over towards the back of site, Ian and Dizzy, trying to make their way away from this dangerous elbow position. Sick taking on some damage. Long range with a Phantom. Can't get the damage. Instead, it's Ian getting the kill into tenz. And Sick shock dart takes down Ian. Dapper picks up Shazam, but it doesn't matter. Dapper finishes up the job himself. 3 players survive for Sentinels at the end of a 4-0 lead.
Sentinels are locking it down on either side. It's like Sonic can barely get a foot forward into the A site. Most of their success has come from those B site executions, and tenz and Shazam both being a duo on this A site is such a huge threat. And Soniqs, I think they're starting to realize, but there is a slight adjustment. Shazam will pick back up the operator. tenz is going to stick it towards mid. We'll see what Soniqs have, as these executions haven't been in their favor, but a wall lined up early here by Bob to try and split that left side so they can focus entirely here towards right where Shazam is with the operator. But Shazam has been so punishing with it. But he does miss the shot. He's got to back away. He will be punished by Plix.
Whoa. There you go. Plix just holding W, going through, fighting Zoms and elbow. But instantly the Viper's Pit, the domain expansion goes up, and now Bob at least has full real estate now, but look at the jump on top. Not gonna be able to find anything. Instead, it has to be Bob to take down tenz, and indeed he does. Man advantage now for Soniqs. 3 players in the back line for Sentinels. And Crunchy even picks up Plix right in the middle. This Viper's Pit is just taking up so much space. It's so dangerous for Sentinels to even go through. Plix is going to take down Sick with the boom bots. And 1 more remaining. It's Dapper in a 1v4. Still has a wall to work with. Wants to put that in front of the wall. Quick burst takes down Crunchy. Big frag. Still has to deal with a player over towards elbow, and he gets taken down. That's the first round back for the Aussies.
I love the way Soniqs, or in particular Bob, played that retake, played that post plant with the Viper's ultimate. So well done. There's a slight verticality on it where he stands on top of Jenny. He gets the Viper's Pit to extend just a little bit upwards. So now Sentinels have got to worry about the verticality effect and then all that space underneath. So well played to the side of Soniqs. A great execution and an even better post plan. Those are the shining moments that we need, and the Aussies are on the board finally.
Now recollecting ourselves back into this round, both duelists for Soniqs have their ultis, Sully.
Oh my, Bob. It's Plix actually not to get the kill. Bob instead, I think that was a blast pad, jumped straight into the face of tenz. So punishing early.
So quick.
And we didn't mention this earlier, is that Dizzy, we're going to see him on the sub over and over. He is a pure jet operator, so we'll see what he can do against Shazam.
Look at that orb too. It covers up the swing. Zoms ran right into it. This were the new patch, it would have done 50 damage.
Oh, Gus, look at this. Ian is on such a late lurk towards the B side. It's completely open, and the biggest thing is Soniqs have split Bob's utilities of both A and B. So at least Sentinels have no idea where this hit is going to be coming from.
He already came from kitchen earlier, so Sick. You can kind of tell that he is putting up at least a little bit of attention, but that turret going up gives an audio cue back to Dapper.
I think they're faking it though, Soniqs. They're not fully committed. Yeah, as Iron goes down, this might have to be a cancel, but they are. It looks like they're still gonna go forward. Wall needs to go up, and Dapper's got a really good angle here, as he's got a boost over on the defender spawn side.
30 seconds
They still have the
left.
Viper wall that they set up early on in the round. This was their setup. This was their plan early on anyways. They put up the Sage wall at least. Dapper through the fence. Couldn't get anything. Plix takes him down. Hunter's Fury early. Dizzy! Misses out on a clean shot mid. Would have given a 2-man advantage back to Soniqs. But now Sentinels, not exactly full strength, but they still have the bodies to fight. And through the Viper wall, taking down Plix. This is starting to become disastrous for Soniqs, but they still have the chance to at least take it on down. 3 players both on sites for Sentinels. Daisy Life and Bob combining for 2. Now it's Zom's in a 1v3, and Crunchy still wins it. Soniqs a nail biter, but they win it anyways.
Got really, really scary. If Dapper had gotten that first kill onto Plix in the back, that would have been a huge, huge stud, at least to Soniqs' push forward. It would have slowed them down by a whole lot, losing that extra duelist. But Sentinels, I think Soniqs are kind of changing up the pace. Sentinels are getting caught a little off guard, right? That early dash or that early blast pack straight into the face of tenz from Plix caught tenz completely off guard. And Sentinels, they had to adjust. Soniqs are starting to pick up the tempo against North America's best. And now we're seeing a true clash of the Titans.
Dizzy with an early shot, not able to get anything. This time it's actually double over towards B main Sully.
It's Ian again on that late lurk. No one to punish. tenz doesn't have the line of sight unless he walks to the right side. He might just tenz find the kill. No, Ian with the better gun will give them an advantage. But look at this push from B main. This is huge from Shazam, but he misses every single knife.
He only has a classic to work with now. He goes down to Crunchy, and Dizzy, watching Inner, takes down Dapper. So Sentinels a little bit lower on firepower. They end up losing out all 3 of their initial battles.
You're going to be able to recover. Sick. That is going to be spotted here. Slow Orb is well committed to top bridge. He can maybe stop this spike. No. Wall going up is going to make this a whole lot more difficult. The boom was even discovered him. It's so punishing with that information. And yeah, in a 5v2, Sentinels can maybe get an exit here or there in the form of Zombs as he's the last one alive, which it doesn't look like he won't. Style on him, Plix. Show him where you come from. Sentinels, 4-3. Dang.
That's the first international teabag. And who would have thunk it? It's actually the Aussies to do it. Okay. Sentinels, I mean, they saw that. They might go into a different mode, demon mode potentially. As now they do have the firepower back, Sully.
Look at where Shazam's taking this operator. Instead of going towards A, where he's been able to punish a couple of Soniqs players, but that was in the early rounds. Now Soniqs are kind of committing blast packs to get that control, throwing that wall up, and yeah, Plix straight to it. Right off the rip is looking for an early pick. Shazam was going to get full control of B, however, but the lockdown is the main focus. With 3 players here, they're going to have to wait this one out. And Soniqs, with no control towards B, it feels like they have to commit. But the spike, it's nowhere near that side of the site or side of the map.
Still want to take up this control. This could be a great fake. All the bodies for Sentinels are around here, except for one. Shazam actually takes down Bob over towards B as tenz gets the kill onto Ian. There goes a frag from Dizzy. The spike is coming back to the A site, but this is the jaw of the beast. Sentinels still has the 3 bodies here, but one of them goes down. Nice pick from Plix. So goes on away, has tenz on the other side of the wall, and he can't go up. He just used one of his satchels.
Get this.
At this point, they're just stuck.
Yeah, Bob is gone as well. They are really stuck because that wall is going to be huge because it blocks off tenz line of sight where they can maybe get the spike down right in front of the double stack again. They really need this wall to break. 35 seconds left. When does Shazam maybe start to rotate? They are anticipating maybe this is going to be a cancel. Maybe it's going to be a fake and wrap towards mid given the time. But Soniqs, they're waiting patiently. Wall breaks and so does tenz. He goes down, but it's sick back with 1.
6 still around.
He's gonna cut him off.
Oh, that's the spike is. And yes, he can cut him off instantly. Crunchy doesn't anticipate it. And there goes the route. Now it's a 1v2. Dizzy has missed a couple of pivotal shots, but has a chance for redemption.
A fake dash?
Has a close angle, and not only that, but he does have the knives. And oh no, the recon is gonna tap him twice. Now he's out and away. Only has 1 more updraft. Dizzy now with the knives. waiting up at least for that tick of the spike. Finally, it is going down. Know that there's one close.
He's got a peek.
Oh, he gets it on to Shazam! Still one more remaining. The knives are still out. Dizzy still catching on bullets.
No!
The defuse never goes by. Dizzy plays time. The movement, a little bit questionable, but it doesn't matter. Soniqs, they still went out the fourth.
Dizzy running circles, my man. Soniqs, a huge clutch to tie things up 4-4. I mean, this was so well done by Sick. I won't even lie. Sentinels played this so well, but when you're in a clutch position, tacticality doesn't matter. Dizzy, extremely well done. I mean, it really doesn't get better than that in a clutch. 4-4. Sentinels, they're really being tested here by the Aussies. Soniqs, they have the better guns in this round, so Sentinels will be looking to pack on a little bit of damage. Early Viper Wall goes up by Bob towards the B site. Sick, Lone Warrior, have to try and hold them off, as already Sentinels get a whole lot of information. They don't spot Iron on this lurk, so they can't expect him mid probably, and that's why we see those two players adjust. Tenz and Shazam back away, and I think now they're prepared for the B exec.
Oh, certainly, but in comes Iron again. Another cheeky lurk. This time it's up in kitchen, spots Dapper. Dapper goes down to 30, still has the heal orb. It's a good contact from Iron though. So has to go away. Only one was that frag, but now they just go on away almost immediately. And look at that orb in mid. What on earth?
So well done here by Soniqs. I think they were anticipating, or at least expecting, maybe they would need to cancel because of how Sentinels have been aggressive and how focused they were towards that B side. So they have that orb just in case. So that cross towards mid is going to be a lot more secure after I think it was Ian that spotted Dapper playing in the back, or maybe it was even Sick as well in that rotation. So Soniqs, they'll get the spike down. Sentinels, they are still deadly even with the lesser guns, so we'll see what they can make of this.
Let's see it. Ian, the first contact and elbow. The recon dart is going to at least ping him out. Sentinel still going slowly, especially from the mid side. That shock dart does a whole lot of damage. It might take down Plix. Plix down to 7 HP. Just needs to stay alive. That eye does go a little bit high. Dapper still has a wall too. This could just be a very cheeky defuse if they want to go for it. Dizzy takes down one. Ian still. The defuse is going in, but the shot through from Bob takes down Dapper, and now it's a Sick in a 1v4. Good attempt, at least from Dapper. The rest of Sentinels just pouring the bodies in. But again, somehow, I'm thinking about the situations throughout that round where Soniqs, they were fighting a little bit more upper towards the back A position, but they still had their contingency plan, Sully, in the back line.
Yeah, they had Crunchy on a very quick rotation, running down through mid just in case. Soniqs, these rounds are big. On the attacking side as well of Icebox, you want to maximize how many rounds you can get out of this one. And they are really giving Sentinels a run for their money. Again, we're going to see Dapper playing solo on this B site, trying to get the wall up early to prevent any early B exec. But knowing Soniqs, they love to play with the picks. They love to try and get an open and kill in tenz. He expected Plix to play that angle, and he's going to go for more. Shazam right behind him onto Plix, and then him with a second onto Crunchy, but Dizzy's there for one.
Yeah, nice pick from Dizzy. Need to at least cover up the bleeding. Tenz was looking like he was on a tear, looking for revenge too. He lost out on most of his battles.
There's no way they're prepared for Ian. He is on such a huge play.
He's been here so many times though, Sully. Sick is gonna check this 100 times out of 100. I mean, that's more than anticipated, right? It's the conditioning. He's always gonna be checking kitchen after what has been plenty of rounds of Ian making that same rotation.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe he could have gotten the timing in his favor, but no. 2v4. Viper's Pit is online. The thing is Dapper and Sick are waiting, and these rotations from both Shazam and Zons are way too quick. Yup, Viper's ultimate's going to go up, but the recon bolt keeps them off the spike plant, giving more time for these rotations and to set themselves up for the retake.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, with the Viper's Pit.
Shazam
He's
knows.
actually outside of it, and now the Pit is going to go down, and the Hunter's Fury hangs out Dizzy, and Shazam gets the pick. 5-5, we're tied up again, Sully, as Sentinels, at least in that round, they just picked Soniqs up off early, and then by the time they actually went into sight, they were more than restricted.
Yeah, it's these little micro adjustments that Sentinels are doing. It's all started with tenz not going for such an aggressive peek, and that insane shot from Shazam, don't get me wrong, but it's these small things that Sentinels are doing that are adjusting. Soniqs got to keep on their toes. They've done it before earlier in this first half to adjust quickly to Sentinels. Can they do it again as we're heading to the last two rounds?
Come into the unknown.
Now the penultimate round of the half. This time it's a little bit more modified of a setup, at least for the Sentinels, where they actually have 3 over towards the A area. It's actually too close. Trying to look over towards A main. Speaking of close, we have Dapper again, who might just get countered by the showstopper. Flick's trying to chase, but he ran out of the satchels, and now Dapper is out and away. The showstopper is gonna get wasted.
But he's gotten so much space. However, Sentinels, it's sick to respond back with an Allogen. So now they've got the info that's going to force Plix to back away just a little bit. And 3 players stacked up here by the side of Sentinels. It's Ian again on a very, very late lurk. If you are Sentinels, you need to be expecting this. You have to expect this late lurk from Ian. There's an opportunity to maybe shut down 2 players. Zom's making a wrap back towards Rafters. The nice Viper or Snake Bite straight onto the foot of Dapper is going to force him back a little bit as Ian opens things up on A.
It's a fast rotation, too. It's the 2 players that have been mostly on a pivot. Shazam coming back too late. Tenz in the back line. Crunchy immediately gets the pick onto Tenz. Dizzy, nice pick onto Sick. Still 2 up top on Rafters. Might be 3 in just a little bit, but they have full control of sight. That same wall goes up again. They want to counter it. The wall is going down. Zoms with a pick. Dapper up close, takes down Crunchy with the wall open and the smoke still down. Dapper's actually going for the defuse. Shazam watching up top. Still 3 for Soniqs in the back line. Shazam misses out on the wall bang. No longer being defused as Dizzy gets the pick up to Zoms. 1 more player remaining, and it's gonna have to come down to Shazam. He knows that there's a gap through, but with only an op, he just has to go nuts. Bob had that first contact, and Shazam looks away for a split second. Somehow Shazam is still alive, but now he's done. Soniqs once again maintain a lead over Sentinels.
Dude, Dizzy is being so deadly in these close range engagements with an operator. He's hit so many quick scopes in such crucial positions. My goodness, I mean, it's the battle of Shazam and Dizzy. The ops going off ham in every single round. It feels like every round has got an operator kill, and it is such an influential one. Like quickscope on the same side, Dizzy hits 2 just to give Soniqs the 6th round. And we said it, going in now into the last 2 rounds. We're here in the last. Sentinels. Shazam's no longer got an op. Dizzy has his, but it's the Blade Storm that might salvage something out of this one, at least for Shazam.
Looks like we got a pause on the server. Oh, it's a moment for really everyone to take a deep breath, right?
This is an insane game so far. I think we kind of hyped it up that Sentinels were the very clear favorites, but Soniqs, man, they're proving why they were #1 from where they once were. And I mean, Soniqs, dude, they are being so deadly right now. They are definitely on the same skill level as Sentinels right now.
I mean, what a story for Soniqs to even get here, right? Because they already crowned themselves as king of the Oceanic region, and well, they left midway. They end up getting sponsored by Soniqs, and now they play up in a team house, or at least what we assume is actually a team office. And I mean, Soniqs, for them to quickly make that transition over, you already know that it's tough. Let's see how they fight up against Sentinels again, however, for one last round. Early on, it was Shazam with an updraft over in mid, misses out on his shot, but we already have an early pick.
And Zom's punishing Plix, who's gone for that blast back straight onto Belt, I think a couple of times now. Slowed down after that. Soniqs are a team that really relies on getting the opening pick with their duelist, right? Dizzy Life with that operator scouring the map, seeing what Crunchy can get, or apologies, Plix, what he can find as well. So Revive comes in. Bob is going to get 1 frag back. 4 versus 5 as Soniqs is Dizzy again to just play this really late lurk, and he's even brought out the Blade Storm to try and find something. But on the opposite side, the Viper wall is ready to go, but Sick, he's alone here. He's got no company as Shazam has to make this rotation. Same thing with the rest of Sentinels. They're down a man early on. They need to try and get a pick back here. Shazam alone, top of tube. All this utility being committed here, and Sentinels, it's going to be so difficult. Spike will be committed, but no, Shazam, he's up top, but the Spike goes down to the last second. It's a 4v3 with kills going back and forth. Soniqs fine too, and Sentinels are down to just 2. It's again Shazam, juggling between the guns, Blade Storm ready, and a 3v2. Soniqs have already backed away 2 players by Banana. A big paranoia goes in. Shazam needs an opening, and he's got one, but punished by Bob. It's down to Zoms in the clutch. 1 versus 2 to tie things up. He's stuck in the dark cover, but out goes the swing, and down he goes. Ian picking up a 7th here for Soniqs to give them the lead going into the second half.
I mean, unreal. Now Soniqs just putting into a storyline type way, right? Soniqs up 7-5 over Sentinels going into the second half. What would be the favorite side for themselves statistically, the defender side.
Having this lead, at least for Soniqs, I feel like it's all about Soniqs proving themselves to themselves and the rest of the region that they're in, North America, and maybe even to the rest of the world, that it always feels like Oceania has been this, like, has always been a weird region for at least in every single esport. And so for Soniqs to come in and just straight out the water, compete at the level of Sentinels on one of Sentinels' more strong maps, one that we've seen them play competitively, it's such a huge growth, at least for Soniqs, from their time in Oceania, now in North America, but they've got to do it again in a second half.
Well, let's see it now, already starting off. A couple of missed shots, already deep in A main, and Soniqs looks like they want to almost completely abandon this A site as Sentinels. They do take up a little bit more control. See, at least combo pinging out, not exactly gonna get anything, and they haven't taken up that back control yet, but it's actually gonna be a deeper wall than they're used to. Now Plix on top of Raptors. This is really the only position that they have to look out for. 3 bodies looking at that exact same position. tenz takes down Plix, Shazam and Zoms with another one. tenz with a second. Now it's just Dizzy in a 1v5. Catches. Oh, no way! Takes down one, and Dapper has a knife. We not only see the first international knife, but the second international teabag. Sentinels, oh, they want their revenge for sure. They want to really state who are the kings.
Oh man, Dapper, that's classic Dapper. They were feeling it. We were anticipating. We're like, okay, when are Sentinels gonna bring the heat back? When is the fire, the flame that we know Sentinels to be? When is that gonna come back? And there it is, Dapper with a knife jumping around the corner. Second half already off to a roaring start as Sentinels up in the start of the second half, 6-7 Soniqs. It's an eco round here for them. And Sentinels, a slow progression straight towards the B site. That Viper wall doesn't cancel anything. And Soniqs are ready for it.
It's gonna be at least triple for Soniqs early on. Get that weird angle for the Viper wall too. It was just for that initial pick, but otherwise it's just gonna be very quick for Sentinels. They already have that wall up. No wall bang those. The wall does cover up at least green box. tenz watching the back line, not gonna be able to get anything just yet, but still maintaining it. Takes down Ian. Good trade back from Crunchy, but it's a man down for Soniqs. They do start to converge just a little bit more. We're used to seeing a little bit more flank play, but in this case, they're still just maintaining the players around. And there you go. Like you mentioned, Zoms. So looking over towards that mid side, could come by in a very quick crunch. And Plix, he gets counted out. The wall is still there. Plix has to get away some way, somehow. Zoms clears the angle. Dizzy with another shot. Oh my, this spike is going down so quickly, and Zoms, he can clean this all up. Takes down Crunchy, still one more on site. The spike is already dead and gone, and Sick, he gets one to the back of the head. Sentinels have tied it up 7-7.
Nice clean stuff from Sentinels just to kick off the second half. You tie things up 7-7, but now the gun round. That was such a punishing round by Soniqs to take 4 players away from Sentinels, 4 reinvestments. So going into this one, round number 3, where we expect the winning team of the first 2 rounds to have a bonus, it's more or less going to be Rifles v Rifles. The only person not upgrading being Zoms, the lone survivor. And Soniqs, it's an early battle here. As already, players are looking to swing very early into B. Never mind, Bob is going to back away after the Viper wall goes up.
At least early on into this round, Sentinels might be playing a little bit more defaulty in a sense. It's more individual, committing to positions. They have a lurker over towards the A site. Same thing with over towards mid. tenz is more looking for a pick, though, Sully, as Sentinels, they slowly but surely take up a little bit more control of the map.
Yeah, Ian has got a great contingency plan here. A beautiful one-way off the Poison Orb as well from Bob, but more importantly, these nano swarms, one behind that double stack, one straight in front of where the spike will most likely go down, just to prevent it from going down. Sentinels are being slowed down, but that shock dart just broke literally everything except for the one swarm. So most of the util, the alarm bot is still waiting at the top of tube, and Ian is still able to get a first kill. Swarm goes out to prevent any late push. And now he's got to be a little bit more worried about the yellow tube. Nothing yet for Sentinels, as they are still spread out across the map, looking for at least a trade back to get them going.
Bob has the pick in mid as he takes down tenz.
That doesn't happen often.
No, it's just a pure 1v1. It was Bob with the headshot position too. And just putting that in perspective too. Bob 1v1 against tenz, but now the spike going down on the B side, practically on the lonesome. But watch out, they do have a little bit of a lurker, almost going right into kitchen.
Yeah.
It's none other than Sick in that position.
Oh, think about where the spike has gone down as well. Sonic should be expecting the majority of these players to be playing in this ultimate area, so it's up to Dizzy to maybe get a trade, but it's Iron to punish Sick first. A Paranoia ready for Zombs, but in a 2v5.
It's like they're almost anticipating it. They're still checking these angles. That's unreal. Zombs now in a 1v4. And Soniqs, they wanted to make absolute sure that this B site was empty, that no Sentinels players were surviving. I mean, like you mentioned, it was almost a perfect setup to the point that, you know, if you just have one player in that back yellow making a little bit of noise, throwing out the util, and with the spike being planted in that default position, you almost expect everyone to be back in yellow, and Soniqs completely read that situation.
Yeah, they saw that wall go up and they realized, okay, with the wall going up and defend their spawn, they're either going to rotate back to banana, but given the position that they have right now, it's going to be a wrap towards mid. And you saw the idea that Sentinels had, and that's why tenz was trying to win that fight against Bob, so he could have that alt mid control so that they didn't have to worry about their flanks. But unfortunately, with tenz going down to Bob, it created a huge gap in that position. And while Soniqs, we're off to another roaring start, but it's Shazam instead to take down Dizzy.
Now the double duelists both making their way in deep into A main, just trying to get a couple of picks, but it's Plix getting a pick. Zombs takes him back. Now man advantage for Sentinels, as they can just put up that wall and get that spike down, but instead it's Crunchy on top of Raptor taking out Shazam. Still under. Bob is here alongside Crunchy, and Bob gets two quickly off the rotation. Soniqs, the overwhelmed Sentinels.
Bob is a machine right now. So many crucial kills. There's really no other way to put it. This man is cold-blooded. His agent is, and so is he. Sentinels. That is a huge shock for Bob to win 1v1 on the first engagement on the right side of the side, and then to spin back for a second. Soniqs, they are competing at such a high level right now against Sentinels, and Sentinels, we know them to be a team that can adjust in this portion of the match. When you've hit that quarter part of any half, this is where you adjust. This fifth round, while they are on an eco, are going to feel out the rest of the map, but this is where we see the little changes. Iron from out the sky, it's Shazam to be sent back down to earth.
Yeah, like a clay pigeon. Goodbye, Shazam. 50! 1, 2, make it 3! No, does not take down Zombs, but man, oh man, Soniqs with an explosion of frags. And they're still looking to go at Sonic speed to try to finish off this round.
It's just such low HP. That is, oh my goodness, Soniqs. From the first shot to Dizzy, dude. When we were doing our VOD review, I said Dizzy isn't your traditional jet. He's not one to really dash in and just open up the map and get all this space. But when he does stuff like that, he is so good with his aim. His operator, his blade storm, everything about this guy just screams jet. He is the living embodiment of it. You thought Wardell was it? No, this guy is now. Dizzy coming up huge for Soniqs. They've got a lead 10-7. And Sentinels, I talked about adjustments. Well, this is it. Round number 5, or round number 6 in the second half is where you need to start to turn it up.
And this is so pivotal, Sully. Look at the economy now for Sentinels. They could get reset right here, right now, almost giving Soniqs a path to map point.
Disengage.
Look at this angle from Dizzy.
Oh, he's gonna get it as well.
He wins.
Shazam was peeking the other side. Yeah, Dapper with that instant revive is gonna bring him back to a 5v5. They were willing to risk that peek, so in all that commotion, tenz lurked up towards Dupe, giving his position away, and that should have caused a little commotion. So Sentinels, they've got all this info, they've got all this control. They're scaring Soniqs just a little bit, but no one is moving just yet. They realize tenz is backed away, but Sentinels are starting to filter back out through the B or through the A side and back into B, where Bob, the only man standing there currently, is waiting for them. Iron pushed down through tube, though.
Oh, Iron.
Oh, and they have no sense to watch the flank Sentinels.
I was about to say, first of all, if Iron had gotten there a little bit earlier, could have gotten at least that information that they're sticking around to B. But instead, now it's going to have to be a full retake from Soniqs with only Bob looking out on site. Look how tight this angle is, man. I mean, how on earth could he even get a pick from here? Unless someone wide swings in, does take down Sick, but he's instantly taken back by tenz. 4v4.
They do have a revive available, at least for the side of Soniqs, so they can get that man advantage. So it's big for Bob to get that first kill, and I think it would be valuable because you have those snake bites. But Ian, this is the fight that needs to go the way of Sentinels. Ian, it's an off angle, and he's got a first kill here for the retake. But Shazam needs this trade. Lockdown goes into effect, and this just became so much more difficult for Sentinels.
And Ian is sticking around, but look at the wall bangs through. Could it actually take down the lockdown?
There it is.
Indeed it does! There you go! Shazam takes down the lockdown, and now Ian needs to fight up Shazam in a 1v1. Now he pops out. Tenz goes down. 1v4. Dapper just has to hold down the spike. Just has to play time. Ian gets the kill. Do they have time? No! No, they don't! Soniqs, by the skin of their teeth, by a knife's edge, is gonna lose out on what is the most pivotal round thus far in this game.
That could have been the biggest reset on Sentinels. You mentioned it right before. Sentinels, that full buy after 5 rounds of not having good economy, that was it. And the fact that Soniqs, they were so close. They took down every single Sentinels player. So Sentinels, they are still going to be hurting. It's the same situation. Sentinels, this is a round that they have to win, but they need to win it confidently and comfortably. Soniqs have got plenty of cash built up over these last 5 rounds where they can continue to invest, dig deep into their pockets to get the operator and continue with buys.
A little bit of an ultimate check. We do have that Viper's Pit readied up in this round, but it doesn't look like we're gonna have Bob, at least in a good anchor position. Instead, he's gonna leave his teammate around the B site. The KJ, at least. For Sentinels, they're still maintaining a lurk over on A site, but they're still making noise B. It's mainly gonna be there for rotation kills.
Yeah, but here's the thing is that Zoms, I don't know how far his smoke is gonna reach.
Whoa,
it might hit spawn, but no. Instead they use the wall. Ian's gonna break that portion of the wall so he can drop his nanostorm and get a wall bait, but no. Dapper's read it. Makes a quick adjustment. Second storm to go down, but Dapper's clear of it.
Yeah, some decent damage, but it's certainly not enough to get a kill. Ian was thinking about it too. He was thinking about that possibility, but now Dizzy, like you mentioned, still sitting around that mid side, knows that there might be a little bit of a flank. And this is just 2 sitting ducks.
Yeah, here's the
They're
thing.
just waiting for that interaction. So much action happening on the B site. While in the meantime, Dizzy was just in a 1v1. There he goes. The Viper's Pit is up alongside the wall. Not only that, but a showstopper not going to be able to catch anything. Instead, it's Zapper going down. The defuse is still going in. Hunter's Fury going to be able to take down Ian, but still the defuse is going to go down on Crunchy. Zoms gets a kill back. And not only that, but Bob went down too. So the Viper's Pit goes down, and Zoms and Shazam combined for 4. Sentinels have a 9th. Wow.
Soniqs just gotta take a second to breathe. It's 10-9 now. Sentinels fighting back with every fiber in their body. 4 kills across the board. Well done on the post plant. They were really sticking to the fact that Zoms was watching that flank and Sick had that Hunter Sphere to play with. They used such good ult combos there as well. Sentinels played that one extremely well in the post plant. Soniqs, even with their ultimates, the positionings that Sentinels took, playing that post plant, well done to them. But now it's up to Soniqs. Economy is starting to take a big tear after these last 2 rounds, and Dizzy, no, he's not gonna get it. Tenz, 1 tap to his head, and there's an explosion, a burst onto the B site with 4 players.
That's gonna be the last time we're gonna be seeing Dizzy with the off for a little bit too because of his economy. Now Bob, it was a second contact on the B site, but wasn't able to get anything done. Ian with a deep nanostorm, gonna try to catch Dapper with a little bit of damage, but instead it's actually Crunchy in the back, rotating through their spawn, and goes down to Tenz. Tenz with another one, and he's just holding W on. Plix only has a Bucky, and can only play this position with the Bucky. Still gets 2, but it's just consolation. Sentinels, they get their own double digits. They tie up this game, and well, at least from that round, Sully, Sentinels, they just took it pick by pick.
Okay, listen, I am all for NA. I'm an NA diehard, and Sentinels, they are feeling it. Specifically Tenz in this round, dude. The confidence after those last 2 that they picked up from 7-10 now to 10-10 Sentinels, you can tell they're feeling it. They are playing so much more confident. They are in their element. And Soniqs, you can't get them out of it. 10-10, a very weak buy as Bucky's, Marshals, whatever they can muster. And Soniqs really pulled off here on an eco to get to 11 Sentinels. The disparity of having no economy is now gone as Shazam shuts down 2 right off the bat.
Oh my god, what a flick from Plix! Still could get a couple more. Just has to go for no scopes from here on out, but it's very quick from Dapper and Zombs to make their way on. Again, the restricted firepower, Sonics just can't get those early picks. So instead, Sentinels, they're able to essentially go on a cakewalk and waltz their way into the A site. Still just Iron remaining in a 1v4.
Couple of exits would be nice.
Oh my god.
Oh, Dapper. You know, that's one way to check your corners. You do a quick entire flick of your mouse pad. That works out, but Sentinels finding an 11th, keeping things really clean as well. One player going down, they're going to be looking comfortable, not to mention 4 ultimates. We've got a couple waiting on the backside, waiting on the bench to be called if Sonics need to get it. But this is a round where if they lose it, Sentinels now on 12. Sonics with no economy, but with those 2 ultimates in Plix and Iron, assuming that they can keep it going, they will have Dizzy Life's Bladestorm if they lose this round. But Sonics, this is it. This is do or die, it feels like, at least for map number 1.
I mean, you mentioned it. Dizzy Life is going to have to buy up someone in the next round if they do end up lose. And, well, not only that, the rest of Sonics, they're just aiming to win out this round. It's do or die, Sully, at this point. It's almost exactly the same scenario as Sentinels, just a couple of rounds before, and now tenz on the lurk over on the mid side, takes down Bob.
Revealing area.
A recon bolt too. Gets a good line of sight over towards the back lane of site 2, but Iron is just chilling towards spawn side. But this one's essentially going to be done. Sentinel's going to be able to get that spike plant.
tenz is feeling it, man. Walking up alone, Sonics. 4v5, Spike gonna go down. A little bit of a spam, but I don't think Ian can find the right connections. A bit late on this peak. Can he win it against Sick? No, Punished goes down. 5v3 and Sonics digging themselves a grave as, oh, Dizzy's committed the Bladestorm. They don't have this for the next round.
No way,
He's gonna
no
have
way.
to save the up. It feels like at least.
Wow, that's so unfortunate. Because we mentioned that scenario and Dizzy is still going for the Bladestorm. They have to fight this up immediately. Sonics making their way on. Shazam instantly with a pick onto Crunchies. You still, oh god. I was about to say tenz. Could just shut it down off of a wide swing, but still gets traded back. It's still such a cruel scenario now for the last 2 players of Sonics, as now they just won a couple of exits, but the economy is all too good. And Plix, he's stuck. He's gonna go down to either the bomb or a player. Look out for the economy too. Would have been, I think, 1K if he ended up only going down to the bomb. So Sentinels 12-10 over Sonics. They have themselves a map point after Sonics was firmly in the lead for a good bit.
Yeah, and look at this spot. It is horrific if you're in this position, at least
It's
Sonics,
awful.
right? We saw 2 Guardians. Ian can only afford utility, and then some with the Judge now. 12-10, 1 more round. Sentinels from what a heroic start from Sonics. They look so good, but this is the thing. Again, I said it before, I'll say it again. Sentinels know how to adjust, and they've done it perfectly here in the second half when it came down to the nitty-gritty. Can Sonics do it again here with the weak buy, the lesser utility? And Sentinels, they've been tearing it up. Again, tenz is feeling it right now.
Can you really stop tenz when he's on this mode, when he's going demon mode, when he's ready to frag, when he's at his best? I mean, you mentioned it, Sully. He's one of the best players in the world. Can you really stop him when he's on his A game? Let's see if Sonics can even attempt to do so. You have Dizzy off the first contact. The one-way orb, and Dizzy wants to try to use it for his own advantage. And indeed, he opens up a huge entry pick for Sonics, but it's already taken back. Dizzy has to fight up a second player in Sick, and now all of a sudden, the Uno reverse card has been placed down. Now Sonics are the one down a player.
Oh, and look at this commitment from Ian. He's got the big ult that can maybe win them this round. Sonics have got a lockdown, and they're going to the A site. Sentinels, they could be walking into the lockdown. This is the best case scenario, and you can see Plix is backed away. As soon as the lockdown goes in, he had the showstopper, but Zombs, too quick on the trigger. It's Crunchy back for 1.
Crunchy only with a Guardian too, getting up such a huge pick. But look at the radius now of the lockdown. There's so much space over towards the back of site. The lockdown simply is not efficient enough to just keep Sentinels away from this site. They can keep the real estate. They can keep this control. And now Sentinels, they are on the prowl for the final few kills. As now it's only Bob in a 1v4. Hunter's Fury, it's solo used. Shazam, all 4 players looking for the last frag. And Sentinels, dramatic, but they take up the first map. Over map number 2 between Sonics and Sentinels. It's Oceania facing off against North America. Sentinels, they already started off with a bang, but same thing with Sonics. The momentum is high, and let's see if that can transfer over to Split as we start off map 2.
3-man stack straight up and towards A ramp. This is interesting. They even throw a one-way, so Dapper, that control is a little nullified. He doesn't go for it. So now I think, at least for the side of Sonics, they kind of read, okay, we have most of A on lockdown. They have an alarm bot just in case a player goes straight into elevator, but these smokes, there they go. They grab well as well to pull players in. Bob is just going to try and delay. He needs to back away. He does get a hefty shock dart, though, onto tenz, tagging him down to red, but Sentinels, they've got control of the site, and they're looking comfortable, at least for now.
And quick and easy in Sonics, they just kind of put all their eggs into one basket. Even having that set up over towards heaven, so we're aiming towards a retake anyways. Sentinels ended up going the other direction, so let's see how they actually treat this one out. Most of the players actually coming in through B main. That's kind of crazy. They make their way out quick, though. Shazam picking up 2 immediately. Dizzy Light trying to dash on. Does end up taking out Shazam. Now he zombs. Still with another one and still in the back of sight. It's actually a crossfire. Sick right in the middle of smoke. And with one last person remaining, Crunchy needs to go into a 1v3. And Sentinels, they open things up with a fairly clean pistol round as Sonics, again, I don't know what they were even trying to go for. It looked very coordinated, but it's rare that we ever see, at least in terms of a B retake, only one singular choke point being used.
Yeah, Sonics is, at least in the past from what we've seen from their VODs with their retakes, it's a very burst style, right? You'll send in a single flash and try and retake the site from there out. But one thing that they did note is that with their retakes, and at least from Oceania, is that teams love to just, once they get the spike down, they'll back away to extremities, giving a lot of space for Sonics to take up, whereas in that one at least, and they experience it definitely on Icebox, is that Sentinels, they stick around in that site. So to burst from one area and to have 3 different players watching you, it's only guaranteed, I feel like, to be disastrous in that sense.
It.
One singular person on B site. Again, Ian is the only one with contact. And right as the nebula goes up, tenz times it and takes down Ian before it even blooms. And just like that, it's a B site control again. But what on earth is going on? Sentinels, they actually want to fight the rotation early. Shazam might be here to just farm. Same thing with tenz right behind him. Blick still gets a kill. Tenz, well, does take down Bob, but taken down, not exactly. But it's the paranoia that blinds him and could just be able to get one last one out of this. There you go, stat padding. That's what tenz does best.
Also, a big thing is that with him getting those 4 kills, he's going to be now only 1 point off of the Empress. So, a nice little addition, at least for tenz going into this next round if he can get ult orb control. But I think they might prioritize that at least. We're probably sick to get his ult up. So, Sentinels, 2 quick rounds on the board. Sonics are going to be able to respond back with their buy. This is where things, like we saw in Icebox, are going to start to heat up just a little bit, because now Sonics, they've got the guns, they can get a little more confident, can get a little more abrasive, at least to the side of Sentinels. And this is a 5-player push. Star's already down. Dapper's going to get that control. So much util committed, and Dizzy's going to be completely ignored as Sentinels storm into the site.
And it's yet another free take for Sentinels. I mean, 3 rounds in a row, we're just not seeing any sort of contest from Sonics off of the first bat. I mean, I don't know if this is a sign of what they do for splits or if this is play style, but, well, as long as they have a plan in check, as long as they have a contingency plan, potentially they could counteract. But let's see how they even take this on, because now you have a gravity pull over towards ramp. That delays even more time. Shazam on the front line takes down Ian, and tenz is on a crossfire, taking down Crunchy and screens. Double in ramp, trying to go down, and it's double for really both teams. Zom's right behind too, taking down Bob. Dapper up front with tenz right behind. Sentinels, yet another clean round.
I love the way they use that Astra utility, and more importantly, the single jet smoke to really lock down the players coming from ramp, right? Dapper was playing there late, just in case players are going to try and quickly go for the flank. He was watching for that. Then tenz comes back to reinforce. They commit the Astra Nebula. They throw down the grav pulse so they can all focus on the players funneling out of screen. Sonics read like a book in that one, unfortunately. Sentinels, a 3-0 start, 4 Phantoms, and a Vandal as they fully invest into this one with hardly any casualties. So Sonics, this round is all about trying to stabilize, maybe pulling some guns out of the hand of the Sentinels, but I don't really see it going their way, as Sentinels clearly have not lost any momentum transitioning from map number 1.
No, surely not. I mean, they took up the dub anyways. I mean, Sentinels with a huge drive at the end of Icebox, especially with the way that they won some of the rounds. very tactical in a sense, very overwhelming, and they're doing it again. Zoms and Sick opening up with 2 kills onto Crunchy and Ian. Plix getting a little bit of damage, but it's actually a combo coming in from sight as Sick takes down Bob from lower. One last player remaining. Dizzy only has a shorty. And Dizzy, no, please, don't come around the corner, please. Oh, Dizzy begging for his life, and now he just wants to go for it anyways, and Dapper still takes him down. Oh boy, yeah, we needed a quick laugh because holy Sentinels, this is far from funny for them. They just wanted to get this over with quickly.
Yeah, you know, after that first game, no more funny business here. Soniqs, the buy back,
No,
and
sir.
yep, Dizzy's picked up the operator. I feel like this was the game changer for Soniqs. When Dizzy started to click and his op started to hit, that's when Soniqs really came alive. And so if Dizzy can do it here again, who knows? However, Sentinel's use of Astra's utility, right? We've seen Gravels go into elevator in this position in particular, and I'm worried that Dizzy might get pulled back at least. And yeah, there's already one. Nebula goes out, the Grav not in his favor, but now he's stuck. Shazam punishing him, and Soniqs, down goes Dizzy, up lost, and now a 4v5.
Now it's quick once again, this time Ian with a plethora of util right by his side. He still needs to get the kills to really make it worth it, but he gets traded out immediately by Sick. And Sick, it's almost a trademark at this point, immediately picking back up tenz. So now Soniqs back down to square one. A 2-man disadvantage, as there's even a wall in heaven that they have to try to take down. They have no clue who's behind it.
What was Dapper do? Oh, he's grabbing the ult tor. I was so confused for a
Yes.
second. I was like, Dapper, where are you going, man? But Soniqs,
Yeah.
it's another retake from one extremity, Gus.
And tenz is still around the corner. He tries to fight it out immediately, though, and he somehow escapes from a mosh pit of Soniqs players.
Crunchy?
No, it's Crunchy. Okay. Crunchy. So practicing up the fact that he does use aim lab, but Sentinels, they've been hitting the retake servers, to say the least. 5-0, man.
This pack mentality from Sentinels, this is like the 3rd or 4th one in a row that they've sent 3 or so players straight up towards mid, and it's been 1 player caught off guard. I don't know how Soniqs have a plan to counter, because it feels like even if they want to throw more bodies towards mid, right, 1 more player towards male, another towards elevator, this util from the Astra is really holding them back, and it's making it so difficult for Soniqs to commit multiple players to that early fight. Dizzy's got the Blade Storm. He's going to use that earlier towards B main. Sentinels, another pack mentality is another mid take, and they will get full control.
This time they're maintaining Dizzy. Back over towards the B site. We're in a crossfire. So now he has the Blade Storm, but Sick can actually hear him. We have had that audio input, but let's see if he actually reacts to it, because Dizzy way far off his line. I mean, this is a do or die scenario, but Sick actually with a miss input. But luckily for him, tenz actually went back to go get the spike. Still Soniqs maintaining 2 players. Up and upper. 3 actually.
Yeah, 3 players here.
Sentinels just has full free real estate, man. This is just so tough to even approach.
Oh yeah, and look at this. A single play from Dapper, that wall going up is pulled rotations. They had 3 players in top of heaven, but now that they're gone, and yeah, Plix is looking the wrong way. Nothing you can do, Bob, with just a sheriff. Okay, Bucky to the head. Not enough damage. Still in the old patch, and it's Psalms to punish. 5v1, Sentinels. Very clean round. It's Crunchy who's going to try and get something out of this one, but 6-0 for Sentinels. Talk about a start and a half. Now, Soniqs are the ones that have to do the adapting at this midpoint.
I mean, talk about kind of going through the fire with this map pool, right? Because Soniqs, they still took down Sentinels' best map off the veto anyways, but now they head into Split, which is their 2nd most efficient, 79% win rate. They're 19-5. Their defensive side is notoriously efficient. I mean, and they're proving it again. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Soniqs, they're just having a tough time even getting the right formation. But that's what happens after time, right?
This conditioning by Sentinels, that jet smoke or that cloudburst has always been a cue that a gravel was going to be activated, but Zoms doesn't use it. He instead replaces it up a little bit higher, and tenz from the swing on elevator almost had a second. Dizzy, or apologies, it's Plix who does evade tenz. And now the trades go back. Sentinels finally here in a 2v2 as Crunchy comes up huge and Hunter Street from Bob.
All right, finally, we have a little bit of a ball game. Sick picking up Dapper, and Crunchy knows that it's over towards bottom mid, and he wants to fight it up immediately, taking down Dapper. Still, one player that they have no idea where he is tenz. Tenz still coming up, and Crunchy's not going to cancel either. He's completely committed to the B, or I'm sorry, to the A sites. Wait, but they have no clue that Bob is here. Bob shuts it down. 40 HP, or 40 seconds left. What am I saying? I'm slipping up on my words. Tenz. He takes your breath away no matter what. Takes down Bob. Now it's down to a 1v1 as again that CP went all the way back to the A side, but Crunchy just has enough time. Tenz gets that information, goes for the fake, and Crunchy gets headshot through the wall. Tenz knows that he's done for. The CP, don't really know if it even made a sound cue from that position. Tenz out with the eye. Crunchy needs a headshot right here, right now. That's the only thing that he can afford. Tenz playing ring around the rosy, around the pillar. Crunchy emerges, and that's a second headshot through the wall for Tenz to firmly put Crunchy in his grave. Sentinels, they get another one that looked finally contested from Soniqs, but he came down to the Hunter's Fury and the second interaction in Heaven to even attempt to open it up, but that sneaky position from Tenz was everything.
Yeah, I love this fight, mainly because we hyped Crunchy up to be the aim lab beast from Oceania, but Tenz is literally the aim lab beast from North America, so it comes down to the one taps. Who can get it? Who can get the headshot angle? And Soniqs, unfortunately, Crunchy can't pull out the dub, but they do still have a buyback. Again, these buys have been so detrimental though, but now they're on max loss bonus. There are no excuses. They can continue to buy until they can break it down, but there's Astra. Cosmic Divide splits up the A site. No one's getting through, and it's a free site again for Sentinels.
I mean, how many times are we going to say that at this point? Zoms, the Cosmic Divide, placing down his stars near the perimeter, and oh, speaking of perimeter, you gotta stay out of the perimeter of this one. It's the lockdown going in as Sentinels, they start to abandon what is this hold of ramp, but Bobby gets completely overwhelmed as the lockdown goes down. Three players emerge from the same position, and Shazam in the back of sight alongside Tenz. It's a meat grinder as Sentinels, they make it look so easy. What?
Dude, that round went behind a blur. The post plant is so clean.
And I missed
Sentinels. Dude, I don't even, I'd say, give me a second to process. Tenz and Shazam, instant double kills from both of them. Soniqs, that is a shocker. That combo from Dapper, that trip and cage, predicting the push straight from ramp is brilliant from Sentinels. Up 8-0. Momentum, I said it before, has not been lost, and they are still continuing to run with it.
Well, here we go again. Holy man. All right. Speechless. Sentinels.
Yep.
Now maintaining more of a default this round. And this is another trademark where Dapper has almost pioneered the entire Cypher lurk dynamic, just Sentinel lurk dynamic in general. Dapper going out towards the ramp area, just trying to go on his old solo ways. See if he can get a couple of picks for the rotation in. So Plix is able to go out, but a quick dash from Shazam actually trying to take down Plix. Still two players on site. Tenz so clean onto Bob. Dapper. It was almost a scrappy battle, but Dapper is already more than up. They're in their spawn. Crunchy still takes down Tenz. This B site isn't exactly locked down just yet, but look at Dapper, man. Perusing his way throughout the map. A little bit of a marathon around the world, and is able to take down two for his troubles. 1v3 for Soniqs.
Picked up a Vandal. The spike is still dancing. Oh my god, it's gonna run right into him. Zoms, he's gonna go down here. If Crunchy can get the kill, no! That was it. If he gets the kill, he knows where Dapper is, and he can assume where Shazam is gonna be at. 9-0 Sentinels. I guess that's the confidence difference. Soniqs, they're starting to lose the morale. Being down 9-0 is definitely gonna take a hit here. And Sentinels, Dapper's like, Dapper on that flank is like, wait, I can kill them. I got this. But Sentinels playing this so well. You mentioned Dapper with the textbook lurk. Well, he does it perfectly, and Sentinels are dominating, looking for double digits for Soniqs. Can even get there first.
Man, this seems like a far cry from what we saw in map 1. Soniqs just looked more confident, and not only that, but of course their defensive side actually had some initial battles going for it. Instead now Sentinels, after they had conditioned Soniqs to stay more disciplined, to potentially fight up some of their own battles individually, and maybe stack up the sights a little bit harder, it's like Sentinels are just corralling them into what is their most optimal spots. Now, Sentinels, at least in this round, not exactly taking their time, but at least taking up more control than you would expect. They're already up top mid, but they're actually heading into a double crossfire over in heaven, but Shazam takes down both of them solo. Sentinels make their way out now. Now it's Dizzy, essentially in a 1v5, and that's already it. tenz is going to be able to get the spike down. And these last two players for Soniqs, I mean, yeah, they're essentially on full loss bonus, but I mean, they just have to save up at this point. They're getting crunched up again.
Oh, sick.
Oh my god.
Spray chancer is too clean. 10-0 Sentinels. Soniqs, this is such a vast difference from what we saw in Icebox, the confidence that Soniqs had, and this is where it comes down to where you're playing on a map that you're not familiar with, right? You ban the map Haven, where you're maybe a little more comfortable on, but you know is Sentinel's best map pick, but then you go to a map that you have almost no experience on. I think at least Soniqs were anticipating Sentinels to pick Ascent here instead, and that would have been the best bet for Soniqs to win it in a 2-0 fashion on another map they're comfortable. But Sentinels, they've proven time and time again as to why they are one of the best in North America on split, and they're doing it here 10-0, and Soniqs are yet to get anything going.
I'm gonna have to call Van Silly time and time again. You keep saying time and time again. In we go though. Soniqs trying to fight up mid. 4-person mosh pit. Just trying to crunch up Sentinels, but that plan doesn't work out in their favor either. Instead, now it's Soniqs having to abandon their mission, with Sentinels having full free real estate of the B site.
Yeah, the wall up as well. There should be no chance. Lear out from tenz. It's a late lurk from Zoms. Nebula's down and everything. Sick waiting and watching. Shaz will get the spike down, but now they're looking for a little more. Plix to punish, but Dapper again. This lurk is going to catch all of them off guard.
That's what Dapper does best.
Might not be
they got to expect it, and are they expecting it? They have at least Ian looking over towards that direction, but tenz is just looking for some free frags. Shazam even shooting bodies. Holy Sentinels, 11-0 over Soniqs. They're looking to close things out. As Soniqs, their economy is just shambolic.
Yeah, in this last round as well, 2 Guardians, a Judge for Dizzy. One can only hope that they can bring this back on the attacking side, but Soniqs, it's not a good look so far. This buy as well, like we mentioned, or like you mentioned, it's shambolic. Not going to help them in any sense in this last round of the half. Soniqs, 2 Odin Sentinels. Oh, good heavens. Are we going to see the Zoms and Shazam crosshair pulled out? I hope. I hope.
I would love to see it. Yesterday, it gave them a huge upgrade against the NA in round 1. For sure, for sure. Let's see it though. Oh, Crunchy. Okay, hello. What's up with the Guardian? And the 2-person watch, the 3-person watch of the mid side. They've already abandoned up into heaven, and that's a wall up to try to pick up Shazam. Look at this. I love seeing the line of fire. I love that whole graph, because you just see what is this weird tic-tac-toe battle over in mid. And Crunchy, come on! He tried to go for the fattest flank of his life, the most ballsy teleport of his career, and it just doesn't work. They catch him off immediately, and now Sentinels waltzing their way into the B site again as Soniqs. They thought that some of them were slick. You still have yet another player. It's actually Dizzy that went on the flank to try to get someone mid, but couldn't find anyone, but instead, him over towards B main, gets a kill onto Sick. Even man advantage. Blakes out from heaven, takes down Zoms. This could be their chance to finally take back around in this map. Watch out for Shazam holding it down in heaven, but Blix takes him down. 2v3. It's quiet now as the last 2 players remaining are split up between B main and site. But when you have tenz alive, it's all too tough, isn't it? Dapper with the Odin. Oh, little bit of a fake jump. Bob, he backs on out too, and he still has an Odin in his hands. It's Odin v Odin! But oh my word! The pre-fire around the corner. Dapper with a selfie, and Sentinels with a perfect half over Soniqs.
Well, that's quite a way for Sentinels to say that, yeah, you had a good first map, but we're going to have an even better second map. 12-0 Soniqs. Okay, now I feel like maybe this stat becomes a little more relevant, at least for the Aussie fans, is that 83% attacking win rate in the last 3 months. You know, take that as you will. There is a chance for Soniqs. That's all I'm saying, but
remaining.
we talked about how cliche it was to say this, but the pistol round is the most important round in this game right now, at least for Soniqs. 12-0, you lose it, and you're out.
Yeah, no, out of the tournaments. I mean, talk about how unfortunate it is for even Soniqs trying to get used to the playstyle of North America. I mean, they're completely new to the scene in general, and they just get thrown into the fire against Sentinels. I mean, you got to adapt to survive. I mean, just imagine the headlines, right? If Soniqs is actually able to take back 12 rounds. I'm just thinking metaphorically here. Here comes Sentinels, dude. They have 2 players up in heaven as Soniqs barrel their way into the heaven side. Dapper takes down 1, but Sick is still finding this 1-point Blake, and it's just Shazam to try to help him out. And the gravity pull is so good. It's so good. Sick takes down 2. They wrap him up. Ian now in a 1v3 breaks down the wall, but there's 2 players watching right over him. Sentinels, they close out the first international battle in Valorant, and they close out map 2 with a 13-0 to move on.